everybody. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me turn off my air conditioning, even though I'm probably going to need it. Hello, Wacom Sockham. Hello, Shucharo. Hello, Mr. Matamation. Aldi. Florian. The Magma Muncher. Dylan. Delaxia. Hello, everybody. Hey, Aya. Hey, Elias. Hello, Demon. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm live streaming. I hate live streaming, but it's been a very long time. Something appealed to me about coming back and doing a stream, so here I am. And we're working on a comic book, not working on animation today. Working on the proposed Starbarians comic that I hope one day be finished. That'd be great. Coloring in today. Coloring in. So we're gonna see if we can get a couple of nice panels done. Let me just show you. No, I'll tell you what, we'll take it one panel at a time. You don't need to see the whole context of what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to create a nice sense of the crowd here all crammed in, all mushed in, all panicked and stuff. Because they're listening to the worst band ever, the worst music ever made. So yeah. Hello, Jacob. Hello, Keith. Florian, yeah, says he's got a French name. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so yeah, let's just be working on some coloring in. I've got like a shadow layer there, but it's extremely temporary. I don't think we're gonna want that to be permanent. That blue, or sorry, that purple shadow. Sorry. Pretty much in terms of like the highlights here, not a whole lot I really want to add. In fact, I probably want to start taking some away. So we're gonna go in here with a nice hard brush and just kind of feather it a little bit in places where I feel it needs feathering out. Let me see, let's get the opacity down low, the flow high. We're in Photoshop today. I actually drew this in Clip Studio Paint, but I don't quite like coloring in Clip Studio Paint yet. It feels kind of alien and weird to me. So I brought it into Photoshop to color, but you know, I'm sure some people think that's very funny to draw in one program and color in another, but it's just the way that I like to work. We're gonna put some highlights on her thumb there, so her thumb is being caught by the light there. So yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. It's just me, it's just me talking, being boring, and doing some coloring in. Frankly, I don't think it's worth even watching. Frankly, thank you, Magma Muncher. I don't consider this to be very good background noise. It's probably way too boring, but at least you don't have to look up from your work, because there's going to be nothing to look at. It's going to be moving at a snail's pace. Okay, do I want, let me see, feather that a little bit, tighten that shoulder up there. Maybe bring a little bit more onto his bicep there. Just a little bit more. Like that. Tell you what, the eyes are not doing it for me. I think I'm gonna have to have the eyes actually in white, because I wanted them to kind of pop a little bit more to show that they're all really having a terrible time listening to the world's worst musician, or the universe's worst musician, I guess. So I'm gonna do the eyes in white. I think maybe even a couple of highlights, like the tears, maybe. Yeah, that shoulder. That shoulder is looking scruffy. Let's clean this up a little bit. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I suppose I hope you're doing well. I don't know many of you. No, I'm seeing a few familiar names. Hello, Bowser. Hello, Terranium. I think I already said hello to Terranium. Lemon Teeth, Armored Puka, Matt, other Matt, different Matt, Mr. Matamation, Sabola Hat. Hey, Sabola Hat. Florian says, your work deserves to be seen. Oh, thank you very much. Magma Muncher says, I can't wait to buy 3 of these. Oh, 3 of these. Dude, don't. Don't. That's flattery, that is. Hello, Harry Ashfield. Alright, so you get the idea. A bunch of people freaking out in a stadium somewhere in space. And I am just trying to punch in some highlights here to kind of really make them all stand out. All right, I think that works. So I'm gonna probably, I really want to punch up the shadows next. Originally I just had this dopey layer here, but it looks kind of messy, I think. So I'm gonna get rid of it and just do the shadows kind of manually. I'm gonna put a lot more on her because she's the figure in front, really. So she's gonna be where most of the shadows are actually gonna be. And then the guys kind of behind her are going to be less shadowed and so forth. So I really want her to be in a lot of shadow, and then the guys behind her to be in less shadow. So Elias Bridgman says, kind of looks like it's emulating how old paperback comics were colored. Not really. Like, I've done some pages that are a lot more, or sorry, I should say I've done some panels that are a lot more detailed in terms of coloring. But one thing I'm trying to avoid is overdoing the coloring detail, you know? Just going too crazy. This is very messy right now. Like, for example, this guy is probably going to get much more detail. This is kind of the villain of this scene. He's going to be a lot more... he's going real close there so you can see the detail. He's going to be a lot more colored, a lot less abstract. You know, he's not going to be one solid color. But a lot of the time when you have these kind of little one-off panels, you can get away with really just going abstract with the coloring choices. You can have things be bright red or bright blue. You don't have to color everything the color it actually is in reality, which is a mistake that I tend to make. It's a mistake I tend to see other artists make. It's kind of an amateurish mistake to go, okay, so the jacket he's wearing is gray and the sky is blue and the tree is green and brown and those are all the colors you go with. Well, that's actually, it's not interesting, it's not particularly creative, it's not particularly dramatic, and so it's oftentimes much better if you go with kind of abstract color palettes that match the kind of emotion of a scene or the emotion of a moment and are not they're not literal, you know. Like this woman, even though she's an alien with one eye, she's not literally blue and purple, but I feel like blue and purple kind of match the feeling of the drama. Also, you know, she's in a dark place. She's in like a big stadium. The lights are going to be kind of interesting, so you don't want to just go with really literal colors for the crowd because that wouldn't match. So, all right. Teeth are not colored in. I'm wondering if I don't like that, but Zorro, hello Zorro, says, did you try Clip Studio Paint too? Yes, I did. This is drawn in Clip Studio Paint. So yeah, I'm coloring in Photoshop because I don't like coloring in Clip Studio Paint. It just doesn't gel for me. I'm sure I could learn it. I'm sure it has. The annoying thing is I bet it has tons of shortcuts and stuff that I really want. I bet there's lots of things that it can do that I would really appreciate knowing how to do. But because I'm old, I can't learn new things. When you guys get old too, you will find it equally difficult to learn new things. I'm getting to that point now where I cannot learn new things. I just need to know. I barely managed to learn to draw in Clip Studio Paint, and now after that I'm just going to be, oh, you know what? I don't need to learn to color in it too. I'll just do all the coloring in Photoshop. So that's fine. All right, so we're going to try and sort some of these shadows out. They're looking a little bit messy right now, but that's because I've not done my thing yet. Alright, there you go. And then as we go into the background, we'll kind of have less stuff actually in shadow. I don't know. Okay, alright, so I don't like her cheek there. I went a little bit too smooth with that. Let's try and bring that edge back in a little bit. It's the damn eraser. The eraser is too smooth looking. Okay. Alright, that works. Let's round that shoulder off a little bit. That thumb. Arm there. Just patch that area in a tiny bit. If you know who Boris Vallejo is, you look up Boris Vallejo art. He used to draw the famous Monsters of Filmland magazines, and he would put lots of crazy colors in his paintings. He'd paint Dracula or Frankenstein, but he would make them green, yellow, red, blue, orange. Like, he would go absolutely nuts with the colors, and it always works. It always looks really, really cool, and way more interesting than if you just went with, you know, the realistic palette that Frankenstein and Dracula would be. So I think it's one of those things when you know what the characters look like, you've already seen them a million times. Like this dude here, this is the actual first time we see him. So I'm going to go with the color palette that he naturally is in the world, you know, his kind of universal color palette. I'm going to go with that for this instance because it's the first time we see him. And then immediately when he's a little tiny figure in the background here, he'll just be solid blue or something. And then you don't actually see him again on this page. But the next time you see him, you know, we can be more experimental. We can play more with the lights that are falling on him. You don't need to go in with like really literal color choices. So. All right. Hi Harry, it's me, Charlie the Chump. But your name says the proto of Snugem. So what am I to think? Playing mind games with me. Thank you very much, Keith Roswell. Says it looks good, looks gorgeous. In fact, thank you. Sabola Hat says I love moments in old animated movies where the colors change dramatically. Yeah, I do too. You know, you can do it. They can do it. You know, in live action movies too, not just animated movies. And I want to be bolder with my colors, and I feel like a comic is a good place to kind of get that out of my system a little bit and be bold. Go for it. You know, be brave. I think that's a knuckle there that we didn't draw any highlights on, which is weird. Weird that we didn't highlight the knuckle there, but it's a small area. It's a small panel on a page, and I think we'll be alright. I think we'll be okay. Alright, so let's just get through this next couple of guys. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Make sure that's all in purple there. And her finger, I forgot her index finger there. Alright. Alrighty. Okay. Still do not like the way the shading on her head looks. I don't know what's going on, but it looks weird. I feel like it just needs to be, just have a bit more light on it or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not digging that. Does it need to be like a gradient like that? Obviously the eye would need to be repaired there, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not liking it. It's getting muddy. It's getting muddy there on her head. I don't like that. I don't like it. Well, we'll come back to that. Maybe it's better that we just move on for the sake of the stream, and I'll come back to that later on. All right. Alrighty. So back to the purple shadows. Let's just get that arm shaded in. I don't think it needs much feathering really. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And this guy's hand. Alright, I think we're nearly ready to move on. Nearly. Haha. Nearly. I'm not done yet. Oh, that's weird. There's like a masking issue there on that side. Okay. All right. Maybe this guy needs a little shadow. This guy. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Like that. All right, so I'm just gonna feather a few areas out now. Clean things up a little tiny bit. Remember, this is a small panel. We're very zoomed in. So we're seeing it at much larger, probably about 3 or 4 times larger than you'd ever actually see it in real life, or at least I am. You guys aren't, probably, but okay. Put a little shadow under that guy's nose, and we'll put some on his little top knot there. Fill that guy's cheeks in with light a little bit. Don't know if I like the highlights on the teeth. Might erase the highlights on the teeth and the shadows. Oh, I don't know. Oh, what do you think about the teeth, guys? What looks good? What looks good on the teeth? Just noodle with this forever, but I'd really like to get it actually colored today. BJ Chester said, sorry, I've not really been reading the chat. Hey, Joel Mayer. Thank you for saying it looks good. Hey, Tamagotchi. BJ Chester says, Harry, what movie affected you the most as a child? I don't know. Maybe Ghostbusters or Beetlejuice. Probably had the biggest impact on my life. And I definitely saw those when I was very young. Probably a little bit too young in some cases, but yeah. Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice. Roger Rabbit was pretty important too. All right. Okay, so Tranium says do the eyes and teeth white. I tell you what, the yellow eyes are growing on me now, but there's a few areas that need to be strengthened with the highlights, such as his head, and I want to color in some of the tears a little bit. I think that's it. Let's try whites on the eyes. Okay, we'll try that. Like, I want hers to be white, I think. It could just be could be a highlight. It could just be like that. But I'm thinking maybe like that. Maybe like that. And maybe yellow for the teeth. I don't know, I feel like you got a little bit lost, maybe? I may color the side of the stage in. Let me try yellow on the teeth. There's only really 3 characters that have visible teeth. Let's try yellow on the teeth. It looks weird. That guy's mouth is not colored in black, so that sort of looks weird. I don't know, I quite like yellow on the teeth. Maybe I'll keep that. But go and color that dude's mouth in black, because it's not black right now, and that's not good. Sorry if you hear the rain outside. I have my window open, and it's friggin' raining right now. It's friggin' raining, you guys. You wouldn't believe it. Mr. Matt likes it white. What a racist. White is too bright. IMO says Harry. Oh no. Oh no. Disagreements. Dissent among the ranks. For now, I'm just gonna go and fix the line art here. Well, we forgot to color this dude's mouth in black. Jeez. Alright. Let's just... Oh no. It's coloring his fucking teeth in. Okay. Oh, that's immediately made me see something I want to change. I want to see that bottom lip. Oh no! What's going on? Let's get the right fucking layer. There we go. There's one dude whose eye I forgot. You know, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the white is too bright on the eye. Let's... For now, I think we're gonna go back to... Why is that not working? What's going on? It's not the right layer. What layer do we... What's too many layers. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not coloring everything on one layer because I'm a coward and I can't commit to anything. So I'm kind of... Let's try it off-white. Let's just compromise like a pussy. There we go. No, I don't like that either. Alright, you know what? I'll leave it white because that's easy to fix if I decide that I want to fix it later on. That's easy to fix. We'll make this dude's eye white here. Although really you would see, you know, even the eyes back, there's like tons of eyes in the shot actually. That's the whole point. That's why I made them cyclopses, so I wouldn't have to draw so many eyes. Is that too many eyes now? Oh my god! I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of muddying it for me, really. Alright, you know what? I am going to go back to yellow for the time being. It's my decision. Sorry if I've disappointed anybody with that. No, I don't. Gosh, damn God. Good Lord. It's so hard. Why is it so hard? You know what? I'm just going to move on. I'm going to move on. Something I want to do. I do want to make the stage behind them a different color. I feel like the heads of the crowd would be cut out better if this part of the stage wasn't the same color as, you know, the same yellow. So I'm just going to go in quickly and kind of cut that out. Maybe that helps, I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if it was the purple that we've seen. Yeah, that's probably a bit better. And then when it comes to the actual band, I'm not loving this blue actually now. This blue that's behind them. I feel like that could be a lot of different colors, but it's funny, right? Because you look at it, you know, you look at it in isolation and it seems to work okay. But then you look at it in the rest of the page and it just looks too busy, so it might be better to go monochrome. I don't know. I'm just gonna color the band in and we're gonna move on to a new frame, guys, a new panel, because I'm getting sick of looking at this one, and that's sort of the point, that, you know, the more we fuss it, the more we might be overlooking the obvious. There might be I don't know, a color choice that I've made that I don't like, that I won't see until the panel next to it or below it has been worked up some. So we're gonna go and work some other panels for a little bit, and come back to this one maybe later, maybe off stream. Maybe I'll even read some chats, some chat comments. from you guys. Oh, this is not good. This is like, I'm trying to sample the right purple, but it's just giving me a blue. Why is it giving me a weird? Whatever. Yeah, see, it's like lighter than the color I'm trying to sample. Why is it doing that? Point sample? That, yeah, then it's sort of erasing it. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, no, it's not working. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I'm just going to put in the band on whatever layer they're on. And pretty much just make them silhouettes. I don't think it's worth making them too detailed. They're going to be so small on the page. So, in fact, I think I'm just going to cut them out and fill them in. While I'm doing that, let me see. Are there any questions in the chat? Bowser the Bun says more details the better. You can definitely overdo it. This page is taking way too long. Way too long to color in. Hey, Rusty Brusher. Hey, Malik Rivers says he loves the Kirby Crackle. Yeah, man. I literally went and downloaded a Kirby Crackle brush on Clip Studio Paint because I wanted it and I did not want to do it manually. The Kirby Crackle. We can tell you what. Let's work on some Kirby Crackle in a minute. We'll work on that shot. That frame, rather, panel. Alright, so this is a drum kit that's playing itself. It's one of the Bandroids. And I forgot to draw his head properly here. He has supposed to have a thing that joins the top part of his hi-hat to the bottom part, which makes his jaw. But that's okay, it's very small. It's basically going to be a silhouette, so I think we can get away with it. Let me just put that little foot in there, and this thing looks like his junk here, but it's supposed to be the bass drum beater thing. What do you call that thing? The thing that hits the bass drum. Yeah, so he's pretty much just going to be filled in like that. You know, so that you can see them from afar. I might make them a different color, the actual band, not purple like this, because I don't know, they're sort of the they're important parts of the they're important characters. I might try and make them pop a little bit. This is Shredbad. Oh, you know what? I've decided I don't like Shredbad's design and I want to change something, so we're gonna have to go and do that real quick. Okay, so let's zoom out here. This is Shredbad. Shredbad the Bad. Stupid name, but people kept telling me to change it. I told two people the name and they were like, yeah, you should change it. So believe me, Shredbad is actually an improvement on what the name was originally. I was going to call him Shredlock, which is probably a cooler sounding name. Whoa, what's going on? It's probably a cooler name, Shredlock, but then I felt like it would make sense to give him dreadlocks. And I didn't want to do that, so he's ended up with as Shredbad. Anyway, you see these speakers on his back here? They have these little curved teeth. I don't think it looks very good. I don't think it's a very good silhouette. And I kind of want them to look like speakers, which they currently do, but I wanted them to look evil, and I'm thinking about just being lazy and putting spikes on the speakers instead, which is very generic and lazy, but his whole backpack that he's carrying has spikes on it, so it sort of matches that spike motif. He's got spikes on his feet, he's got spikes on his knee pads. So yeah, I probably will just go and add spikes, not to that drawing, to this little tiny one. I don't know if I'm keeping the corner teeth or not. I might just lose those right now and just go with the spikes. But yeah, so his design is changing a little bit. Zorro says, how do you avoid over perfectionism? Remember that you're gonna die, and if you take forever, you'll never finish anything. So you just got to get stuff done at a point that you can accept and tolerate it. But don't ask me that kind of question. I'm a terrible example there, because I put out one cartoon a year, one project a year, and I'm not a living example of how to avoid sort of that kind of thing. So sorry about that. But it's a struggle. It's a struggle that I totally empathize and identify with. So Godspeed on that front, my friend. So we gotta get a really dumb small brush now to fix this inking. That's too big. Literally, it's gonna be like a 1 pixel brush. It's fucked up. That looks all wrong. Yeah, I know it looks kind of different, the inking here, but it won't from afar. It'll be alright from afar. I hope. That doesn't look good. Any more questions I can answer? Terranium says, easiest way to make the speakers look evil is making the speaker part look like an eyeball instead of circles. Yeah, but that doesn't thematically make sense, because eyeballs don't project sound, I don't think. I mean, okay, alright. You mean like that? Like eyeball shaped? You don't mean like with veins and an iris and stuff? Yeah, that could work, actually. That's a pretty good idea, Terranium. God damn it. Damn it, we've got to give Terranium credit now. No, we don't. We're not giving him any credit. But I like that idea. Making them a different shape is a good call, Terranium. It's a pretty good call. It's a pretty good call. But I'm going with the evil eyeball shape. I'm not just doing round eyeballs with, you know, with an iris and stuff. Okay, so something like that. Although, does that look like speakers anymore? And thematically, it feels weird, right? To have eyes make sound. Feels like eyeballs don't make sound. Ears hear sound. A mouth makes sound. Like, I did think about making them kind of look like a mouth. Which would have been, like, I don't know, almost like a gramophone. Like that, with teeth. That's why these little teeth. Oh, maybe a mouth is better. See, a mouth thematically works for me. Yeah, let's drop the eyes. And just go with teeth. Go with a row of teeth. Ah. Okay. You shouldn't be changing the character design on the fly like this, but it was bugging me. And I don't like that line either. It's too thin. Go with a nice thick. It's such a tiny character, it doesn't matter, but. Hello, Gregor! Good to see you, Gregor. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Jesse J. Jones and Owl Balcony. Hey, Christian. People saying welcome back. I've not been anywhere. I've been sat at the exact same place that I always sit, in my office. But I've not live streamed in a while. You are right there. I don't know. I just like the teeth look weird. Ah, so. Alright, just like. No, that looks weird. That looks like Bart Simpson hair. Alright, you know what? It just needs to get the general idea across here. He's playing it with his teeth anyway in this shot. We'll fix it in the we'll fix it on the big wide shot here where you see his whole body. So that hasn't been colored, by the way. I've done some flat colors for it, but that's obviously going to be shaded and stuff to make it look really rich and lovely. What layer did we want for the band? It's that layer, the purple layer. I don't know, the band actually look like they need some highlights still. They're so small in the shot, but he's like sliding on his knees playing the guitar with his teeth. That's the idea. Although it doesn't really look like he's sliding because he's in the same spot that he would be stood normally. Okay. I'm gonna erase some areas. How do you do that? Alt key. Alright, so we'll fill him in now. Like that. And then we got this guy here, another Bandroid. just get him colored in really easily. And I think I will very quickly slap some highlights on these dudes. All right. Okay, and we'll just, whoop, I missed a few little bits there. Get those little bits colored in. Yeah, see, I think they should be a different color because they kind of, I don't know, something about it. It feels like if they're the same color as the audience, I know the audience aren't purple, but their shadows are. Feel like the band would be sort of more imposing looking if they were a different color. So let's play around with the slider and get a different color going for the band. That's why everything is on a different layer, because I can't make my mind up about anything. Just maybe like blue. Yeah. Just blue or something. Alright, and the highlights, I will try sticking some highlights on the band, although actually I'm going to do that on the level. I'll do it on the layer above and then create a clipping mask and just try and do it very simply and cheaply. Let me see, are there any questions for me? It's tough. Hey, Jesse J. Jones says your comic layout and composition is great, or is just emoji pinched fingers. Thank you, Jesse. I mean, I don't really think you've seen, you know, that's the page. Can you get what's going on with that text? We see a big weird starship shaped like a guitar. Bunch of people screaming. Bunch of people screaming and being played music. Bunch of people trying to run away. That is supposed to be a mobile phone from space. It's bigger and clunkier than a mobile phone from the planet Earth, apparently. And then this will be a fun panel. Maybe they'll do this one next. That is the Double D-Rex arriving. And this pathetic tiny panel. I'm going to try and not do any more tiny, teeny panels. Look at that little baby panel. But it's because I already did the page afterwards, and the Starbarians are already jumping directly into the hull of the ship. And I'm like, I've run out of room. I don't want a whole page of them just jumping through the wall of the ship. So I thought, okay, really quickly, we just need to, in the dialogue, basically they're talking about shooting through the ship and then jumping through. And I thought, okay, very quickly, we just need a tiny panel to show that they are blasting through the ship, basically. So that's why it's a little teeny baby panel there, just to make sure that I haven't boxed myself into a corner there. I love you too, Shucharo. Thank you for still being here and watching. By the way, guys, check out Shucharo's work. Extremely prolific animator. I wish I animated as fast as Shucharo. With the quality and just the prolificness of the work is crazy. I feel like you put out a new music video every week and they're always 8 minutes long and look beautiful. Jesse Labrie. Hey, Jesse. Says, hey, Harry. I'm so happy to catch you today. Hope you've been great. I've been alright, man. I hope you've been good, Jesse. Tranium says, I genuinely like the spaceship. The corners are really good cargo spaces. I mean, it's not designed for practicality, Terranium. The whole point is that it looks cool. But I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Or maybe you're talking about the Double D-Rex and not the Starcraver. Starcraver is Mokbad's ship. Oh, no, Mokbad was his old name. His new name is Shredbad. Because everyone told me Mokbad was a stupid name. And I'm sure you guys are telling me that Shredbad is a better name, or it's a worse name than Mokbad. And that I should have stuck with Shredlock. But now, here's the thing. It says Shredbad in the line art, so I think it's too late to change it. Yep, alright, so we're just going to slap some highlights on him here. Let's highlight the guitar there. He's got 3 arms on one side and 1 arm on the other side, which is a completely unrealistic, silly design, but I thought it was funny. All right, let's just color all the speakers in. Fuck it. And then this little guy dancing a jig over here, jigging around. All right. Okay, so it kind of works. I don't actually like them being blue anymore. I feel like they should be a different color, like red. Oh man, I'm never pleased. Never pleased with nothing. I'm not never pleased with nothing. I ain't. Not never. This is making them... Ooh, kind of like the green. I feel like perspective-wise they're too high too. It's just like a shitty panel. It's just not very good. All right, they're gonna be red. Fuck it. I was like, that's the one color they shouldn't be, is red, and now I like it. Now I've settled on red. Okay. All right. So let's work on. What you guys want to do? Do you want to do the Starcraver out in space, just lingering and being boring, or do you want to do the close-up of the Starcraver with the double D-Rex flying towards it and put the double D-Rex in there with all the lasers and stuff? Do you want to do that? So we could do that and that one, and that would be the end of the stream. Maybe these two little panels, or these two smaller panels. This one is going to take too long, I'm afraid. Doing all the highlights and shadows and stuff on that is just going to be miserable. It's going to be miserable. I can run a poll? I don't know how you do that. Poll. Participants, toggles. I'll just do... Alright, Double D-Rex says Meredith. Terranium says first one. Harry says two smaller ones. Zach says, am I only just finding out you're making a comic? What's it called? Well, if you supported me on Patreon, Zach, you wouldn't only just be finding out now. Yeah, I'm trying to make a comic. Although, it's tough, because... Let me just talk about that for a second while you guys vote in the chat. If you want the Double D-Rex panel, well, which is that wide one, and I may be this one afterwards, but let's make no guarantees. The wide one of it rushing towards the spaceship, or the one with the ship just still in space with the rocks and stuff around it. Which one are we coloring in first? Or next, rather. Probably won't do both on stream today. But yeah, just very quickly, guys. I am working at the moment on a comic, even though my Patreon is set up to fund animation. The truth is, it isn't funding animation at the speed that I think is, you know, approvable, good. Basically, a cartoon like Starbarians Episode 4 would probably cost roughly about 100 grand to make if you were making it with a studio, which means I have to produce labor that equates to that, which would be more than 2 years of the Patreon, which is not good. I don't think people just want to pay me to work for 2 years and it take 2 years. That's a horrible amount of time. So my hope is that if I can kind of fund a comic just to the point where if I do a comic and can sell it, it'll kind of pay for itself. Yes, I'll have to work on it while I'm doing that, so I won't be able to animate. But then the Patreon funds would be freed up because I would be getting money from the comic. All of the Patreon funds, rather than paying me to live my life, could go to assistant animators, and then we'd sort of get two things at once. We'd get animation happening at the same time as a comic, and that would maybe result in just more content overall. Or if the comic went into profit in a big way, well then there would just be extra money to make animation. So I'm not doing the comic just to make money. I do want to make a comic, of course, but the hope is that if it really went into profit, well then there's just extra money to make animation, and then I could make another animation in a lot less time, and so forth and so forth. And sorry, people are sending me texts. Let me turn off the speakers. So yeah, that's the hope. That's why I'm doing a comic. I'm making a Starbarians comic in the hope that it can fund more cartoons and comics together. But it's a theory that is, you know, it could be wrong. It could be a wrong approach. But I haven't, you know, this is only the 6th page. The comic is roughly going to be 80 pages, and probably at about the 10-page mark, I'm going to set up some kind of pre-order or crowdfunder or something to test the waters and to gauge interest. patrons will get the comic without an additional charge. I'm not sure if it'll be at the bottom level yet. It'll probably be the $5 level. They'll get it without any extra charge, but it'll be a digital version. I'm talking about crowdfunding a physical release, not a digital release. Okay, all right. So what do people say? Bottom panel, Gregor's first one. Double D-Rex. All right, looks like people want the double D-Rex. Okay, cool. Yeah, Zach, man, I'm sorry. I'm not actually going after you for not supporting me on Patreon. It's fine, dude. It's fine. I totally understand. All right. So, yeah, we're going to do the bottom one. Sorry, everyone. That's the... Oh, you know what, though? I don't actually know what color this shape is going to be yet. I'm thinking orangey, because I just want something that isn't dull gray. But at the same time, it's going to need to be... It's going to be ongoing. I'll tell you what. Let's take this big blue area here and color change that to something else while we're working on this panel, because I feel like it's going to be annoying to work on a blue panel when it's surrounded by blue. I mean, that might even work better as a color choice in general, but... Just something to separate that bottom panel out a little bit. Where is it? Where's that bad boy? What group? Group 2? No. Group 3? No. Fuck. Group... So many layers. Group 4? No. Group 5? Yes, there we go. Alright, so it's in group 5. Okay, so we're gonna draw the Star Craver and get that in there. Make it orangey looking, I guess. Okay. Alright, let me see. Let me get this. Get that in there like that. Get that in there. Alright. So obviously the banner is going to be a different color again. I'm gonna put a big shadow. Although it's lit from beneath, isn't it? I guess. Put a shadow at this end with the hatching. Oh no, damn, I did it on the same layer. I don't want to do that. Easily fixed. Easily fixed. Okay, so paste that back in. Now the Shredbad flag will just be... This is going to be a bitch to cut out, I'm afraid. So let me see. I can come and see if there's any questions while I'm doing that. Let me just take a look. Owl Balcony says, how's the comic productivity going for you? It's actually tough. It's tougher than I thought it would be, but that is because the pages are probably more detailed than they should be. I think I have difficulty. I have difficulty kind of saying no to adding lots of detail, and it's sort of nice in a way, taking a break from actually animation. You can put in all that detail, you know. I could never normally draw and animate a character that has as much detail, say, as this guy, you know. I couldn't. I mean, honestly, knowing me, I'd probably get pretty close. I'd probably put in all those, like, you know, parts. He'd have 3 arms and he'd have spikes and stuff and he'd have all those teeth, but I wouldn't draw, you know, all the rendering, all the muscle kind of shading and stuff. So it's you know, very tempting to get suckered in by all of that. But then you do that and a page takes you 3 days, and it's pretty simple mathematics. If the book is 80 pages and a page takes me 3 days, that's something like 240 days to do it with no weekends, which is obviously the best part of a year. So I'm trying to get it to where a page takes me only 2 days, 1 to draw and 1 to color. And that so far has not been a reality. The fastest I can get it down to is a page a day. Sorry, a page in 3 days. And I have not been able to... my original plan was to hire a colorist too, and that has not happened. because I think I'm just a bit too particular about things, and I feel like for my first comic I should probably color it myself and then let that be kind of almost a calling card, so that if I do another one in the future I can show that to people and say, this is what I'm kind of looking for out of you, could you do something like this? And making my first ever comic also a thing where I'm trying to hire someone. You see, I've never even done a comic before, so I feel like I'm going to make mistakes, and it's sort of going to be an expensive mistake if I'm constantly changing my mind and figuring things out, and I'm doing it while also paying somebody whatever $100 a page to color, because that's likely what it would be. It would be around $100. So you'd basically, for an 80-page comic, you'd pay somebody around about $8 grand. I don't even know what I want yet out of this. My original plan was totally flat colors, like this, basically the whole book, like this character, totally flat with no shading. And then I've not been able to leave it alone. I keep wanting to go back in and add stuff and add shading and smooth things out and add in highlights and stuff popping off. So yeah, it's been miserable, and so far it's not been easy. And I'm thinking, is this actually less work than animation? The difference is that you can sell it. That's the difference. If I spend 6 months making an animation, it will be a 5-minute animation that goes on YouTube basically for free, which doesn't move the needle. It doesn't change things in any way. I now have to go back to just starting over and doing another thing. The ad revenue is going to be like, what, $1,000 maybe? But if I do a comic and I spend 6 months making that, then a comic could potentially be printed and sold, maybe a couple of thousand copies for $20 each or something, and then you've maybe got, if you sell, 1,000 copies at $20, you'd probably have to, leave half that money to print the damn thing, but you're talking about, double digits there, or triple digits or whatever, profit, and if you sell more than 1,000, if you sell 5,000, 10,000, then it starts really changing the game, and then I could fund more animation. So as much as I'm making a comic and I'm enjoying doing it, the goal is not to just make comics for the sake of it. It's to tell more stories, which I've always wanted to do, and fund animation. I don't know why I went on a big screed rather there. You didn't ask for all that information, but you had it anyway. I've given it to you now. I'm not sure if I like that. Maybe it could be a dark banner. Not sure. Any tips on inking in this comic style? Says Malik. Well, use Clip Studio Paint. Use the real G pen. Is the one that I've been using, and it's I don't know. Look at old comics. Look at probably one of my favorite comic artists is John Buscema. Look at John Buscema. Look at Jim Lee. Just look at comic artists that you love and just try and basically examine how they draw things. How do they render stuff? How do they realize details? And it's been ongoing for me, because I'm not very good at doing it, I don't think. But I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it now. All right, so let's just, man, fuck it. I'm gonna do the double Durex first, because that's the only thing I'm comfortable with coloring. All right, let's just put him in. Her. I guess it's a her, right? It's got boobs. Well, actually, she's pretty much going to be obscured. I have my little cheat sheet here. Oh, no, I can't find it. I got my little, where is it? CMYK, right? Hang on, give me a sec, guys. I'll be back in un momento. Hello, I'm back. I got my little cheat sheet here of colors. Obviously these are from the cartoon, but these are we're not working in RGB color, we're working in CMYK color, which is like for printing, which is much less bright. It's way less bright. In fact, if I open up, can I just open? Could I show you what they look? Yeah. Okay, so these are RGB colors. These are the colors you would see in the cartoon. But you cannot get a pink like that to print. It's impossible. That can only exist on a screen. So if we turn the mode into CMYK, you get that. All right. So what I've done is I've taken the CMYK limitations, and I've basically created what feels brighter to me, a little bit more blue in the armor, you know, a little bit more red in the pink, just to get it to be better in places, you know, to make it better than. Oh, that was the cover. I was going to show you the cover in a second. Obviously, that would be great, but we can't print that. We can only look at that on the screen. So we could print that. So I'm hoping that looks brighter than that, because that looks too gray to me. But that's got a little bit more red in the pink, you know, a little more contrast maybe. It feels a little brighter. The gloves are not going to be bright blue like that. They're going to be mostly black, but the highlights basically in the gloves are that shade of blue. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Terranium, he's atting me in my own chat, so I got to answer this. When you're getting a colorist, I guess you mean, you should try out a bunch of people by giving them some panels to color. Yeah, but it's more than a panel. It's really hard, man. It's really hard because not only do they have to get the emotional feeling of a scene right. So if you have an angry scene, you might want to color it all red, even though nothing in the scene is technically red. So you have like an emotional quality to the coloring. You have all the technical stuff, like all these made-up alien races and planets and weapons. You know, if I decide that I'm gonna want to see that alien in another story, I've got to then say this alien is green and her ship is this color and her gun has tiger stripes and all this weird stuff. You have to lay all that out, and the emotional sort of value of all the scenes, and then you also have to like their style. They may have a style that's very realistic, or they may have a style that's really, I don't know, lots of screen tone and kind of weird highlights and stuff. So it's a lot. It's probably just going to be easier if I colored the damn book, frankly. I looked around and have not yet found a match that works right for me. But this is what I was also going to show you guys. This is without the logo, so only the patrons have seen the version with the full logo and everything. But that is the cover that is planned. I painted this. I photoshopped it. It's Photoshop. But again, that's CMYK color, and I was very proud of being able to get a lot of kind of contrast and intensity in the highlights. Basically, I decided that things that were bright were going to be really, really bright, and we'll just put as much red in it as we can. That's why there's so much red in the skin tones and even in Hogstrong and his hair, to really try and get that contrast in there. That's the like a female character in the story called Coralie. Her name is currently Coralie or Coralie, I guess. I haven't actually written it out yet too many times. So yeah, that's what the cover is probably going to look like, and that's what the comic is going to look like inside. Hopefully a big, fun, colorful, stupid old mess. We hope. Oh yeah, the reason that I was trying to remember what I even opened this up for. The reason we opened it up here is because I was just going to grab the little color of the rockets, the blue rockets that come out of the double D-Rex. Although my ethos is that every panel can have totally different colors. We can always change the colors of a particular, you know, object or character based on the needs of the panel, but we can also just make them basically the tone that they should be, which is this color blue here, like that. Do you plan on, hey Hyper Wizard, do you plan on selling printed copies of this? So Hyper Wizard, I do, but I want to basically kickstart the project, or, you know, crowdfund it essentially. That's the plan, to kind of get the funds for the rest of the book, and I'll probably have like a quarter of the book done by the point that we do that, the time that we do that. So I'll be able to give an estimation for when it'll be finished. And that would be how we'd get the book physically into people's hands. It's just too risky, I think. I have no idea really of the the interest that there would be in advance. So if I go and print 5,000 books and only 1,000 people want to buy them, it would be a nightmare. I'd have a warehouse filled with books, and that wouldn't be any good. So yes, the idea is that once there's maybe sort of a quarter to a fifth of the book, we do some kind of a Kickstarter or something like that, which I'm sure is going to catch me hell, because people are going to say, why aren't you animating? Well, the whole point is that, you know, trying to get projects made, get funds going to support more projects, and it's tough, man. It's really tough as an indie. I'm super fortunate, man. I'm super fortunate that I have a Patreon that's, you know, keeping me going, but it's not keeping me going plus supporting many animated projects, which would be great. So this is an attempt to kind of move the needle a little bit in that regard. Let's see now. Let's close the cover so I don't keep opening that up. So the double D-Rex is tough because she's like chrome, so she can basically be any color you want. It's really the color of the space around her is the color that she should be. So just make her this bog standard gray for now, but come in later and actually tweak it. That's good. Okie doke. Alright, like that. Cool. Yeah, see, it would never be that dull gray. Also, this is kind of a tough, we want it to pop. It's so small on the page. If you look, if you go to, you know, it's right down the bottom of the page here. I want people to make sure that they know what's happening and that the double D-Rex is actually arriving and what it is. So what I'm thinking is we'll take its kind of, maybe do something kind of wacky with the colors so that it pops more against the background. Maybe like, could even be orange. It could be reflecting the orange of the big ship above it. And then what we'll do is we can kind of sort of go bluey with the highlights. Maybe we'll play with it. But just something that announces it against the background, you know? You don't want to just have this grey-blue blob against grey-blue background. Zoro says, I support your decision to land in comics. Faster than animating, you can tell so much more. I mean, I agree, but I also love animation. I love comics too. The nice thing about, you know, the story that I've written for this is something I never would have been able to animate in a million years. You know, it's like constant crowd scenes and big things. There's like an evacuation of a whole planet, and there's this great big battle, and all this stuff happens in it. So it's appealing to me on that level that we can tell a story that otherwise couldn't be told. Yeah, it's also the ability to, you know, turn it into a product that people might actually want to buy. Although I should have just done a fucking how to draw book or something that would be easier to do. I've been thinking about that lately, doing a how to draw book, which is, there's something arrogant about that. Something really arrogant about doing a how to draw. It's just, people are going to go, what, you think you can draw so great? You think you can draw so great, you should be doing a how to draw book? You fraud. But there's also part of me that thinks, I've read so many how to draw books that I thought were bad. If you were able to do a good one, it might be, if you were kind of able to use some of that frustration, you might be able to make something good. I have a kind of a hook for it too, that I thought might appeal to people. That wouldn't make it just a normal how to draw book. It would be something special, but I won't bore you guys here with that. Okay, let's just get, I don't know how to do this. Something like that, maybe. For the ship. Oh, dude, what the fuck? Something like that. Thank you, Lee315 says he thinks how to draw book would be sick. Well, thank you. I would do my best trying to make something good. how similar would you say illustrating a comic is to drawing a storyboard, Harry? Well, Shark Alien, I'd say that you can... It's pretty damn different. So you don't have to deal with... or you're not, I should say, dealing with... you know, the classic frame 16:9 or whatever that you get with animation. You can create any shape frame you want, literally. I've got ones here that are really wide, a tall one there. This one is giant and open. So, yeah, that is very different. You can obviously pack in way more detail. Time is different because you can't control how long a person looks at an image. You know, you can control how long a thing is on a screen for because you can just, you know, leave the camera rolling basically. You can just create that shot in the edit that's whatever, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 1 second, 4 frames. But with comics, I can't help it if you just look at this panel and for 2 seconds and look at this one for a minute and look at this one down here for an hour. I don't know, yeah, you can see my cursor good. So that's weird. That takes some getting used to. And I don't know if I've mastered, you know, how to necessarily affect the way that people read the comic, but I think some of it's instinctual. You can tell a longer story, I think, because you're not limited. You know, animation is an expensive medium to do. It takes a lot of labor. A comic takes a lot of labor too, but I think it takes comparatively less. You can tell something that feels like a giant epic story in, I think, comparatively less labor than it would take to do it in animation. So that's interesting. But, you know, I still really love animation. I love moving images. And you know what a big part of it is? I'm a huge ham and I like to act. I like to voice act. I love music. You know, I love all these things that you can't put in a comic book. You can't put voice acting and music in a comic book. You could put a CD with the comic, I guess. A CD of my great voice acting. You could do an audio comic, you do a motion comic. But the funny thing is, I thought about doing motion comics for a long time, and that just feels like bad animation. That's the thing, I don't see like, oh, it's a comic come to life. I don't see it like that. Unfortunately, I see a motion comic as it's an animation that didn't have any money spent on it. So that's why I don't think I'm as drawn to doing motion comics. I wouldn't mind, you know, once this story is done, turning it into a motion comic, maybe years down the line. But I don't like the idea of just having very basic animation with sound effects and voice acting. Just feels like cheap animation when it's doing that kind of thing. All right, so can we do anything with this? Whatever, we'll leave that for now and we'll work on the this is messy. See all this here? Those lines are not really intersecting very well, but that's okay. And what color is space? I think I'm happy with space being that color, but I want to kind of pick out some highlights a little bit. Tell you what, we'll do that. Fuck it, we'll do that later. That's a super boring job. Okay. Alright, so what color is the shadow on the ship? I want there to be some shadow on the ship. So let's add a new layer in, like that. Unclip it, please, Harry, for the love of God. Why can I not do basic stuff? Why am I so stupid? I cannot do basic things. Create a damn clipping mask. There we go. Yee. Oh, that's fun. All right. Okay, so that's what I'm kind of trying to do here. I'm trying to create like a gradient on the ship. To imply that it's so long, it's so disappearing into shadow. That's what I'm trying to do. That is the conceptual thing that I'm trying to do. All right, and that end would be much brighter because the engines are blowing and stuff. All right, so that a purple shadow on an orange ship I thought would look cool, but it doesn't look cool. So we're gonna play with it. I'm gonna play with this old bad boy. That's not too bad. The purple, I don't mind that. The blue. Shadow should be darker though. Maybe that's too saturated. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the red. Sorry, the purple. The reddier purple. Because there's so much blue in the rest of the shot. If I go with a blue shadow on a blue thing, a blue shadow, and there's the blue lasers and the blue space, I just feel that's kind of boring. So, what color have I selected here? I don't even know. It's that gray purple color. I'm gonna try to introduce some of that up here. Even though the engines are going to be on, and you'd probably be lost. There'd just be a big explosion of white up here. I know. I'm sorry. I'm talking out on my butt. All right. Let me see. Is there anything in the chat I should address? Brandon says looks amazing. Thank you, Brandon. Jesse Labrie says I have to know, Harry. Do you voice all your characters? Do you have a group of friends? Well, it depends on the cartoon. I voice most of the male characters, but not in everything. Like Hogstrong and Kilgar are me, Dr. Bees is me, Dogtooth is me, but in Ghostbleed, for example, I played Rick, but Krieghauser was Anthony Ingruber. The narrator was Gianni Matrigrano. So that had 2 other male voice actors in it, not just me. But most of the time, if it's a guy, it's me, as a general rule, because I like to do that. I like to get on the mic. I like to MC. There you go. That's the idea. See, it's sort of, creating some planes there for the ship. And we're gonna stick the engines on in a second. I'm gonna slap some big, powerful engines on that bad boy. And I'll show you how we add show you how we add the little details. All right, the clever little details. So how do you make I didn't want to draw a big complicated spaceship with lots of engines and visible tech because lazy, basically. So what I did was I just drew a guitar because I'm lazy. Very simple guitar, and I just squiggled on it. I just drew lots of little boxes. And what we're gonna do on those boxes is we're gonna go in with an eraser. Get your eraser, and you just make it hard. Make it tiny, and you just go in and add little scratches to it, like that. Little scratches right where the light would be hitting it, like that. Little tiny friendly little guys, and you just sort of chip into the shadow, basically. So up here we'd be like, if you all hit from below, that intense light is coming from below. So maybe some on this side, I guess. Just hit them little. I got to worry about the rope there tying the thingy on. Yeah, like that. Alright. And it just sort of gives you a little bit. Tell you what, some of these side boys are going to get hit as well, because I'm not getting enough bang for my buck here. There you go. Just to give it some of that feeling of a little bit of texture or something. I don't know if that's failed, or if you can even notice that. And then gonna want a couple of little highlights here and there. I'm gonna put that on the layer above because I'm not so sure about this one. Like just tiny little things that are getting picked up by the just picking up the light from the double D-Rex there. All right, anything in the chat for me? We see Aaron Munch says looking very Dave Gibbons. Oh, that's a big old compliment, thank you. Terranium says, you gonna make the trailer? How are you gonna make the trailer for the comic? I'll just show lots of thumbnails and drawings and stuff from the actual comic. Harry Ashfield says, you mean you weren't also playing Naomi Blaze? No, I was not. That was my beautiful wife Joyce playing Naomi. She killed it too. She just sounds a lot like Jill Valentine, or she can do the impression of the PS1 Jill Valentine beautifully. She's actually the best impressionist I've ever met, and she doesn't do it professionally. She is so good at impersonating people, and I wish she would do it. I wish she could show the world what she would do. A lot of people were like, oh, that's a great Jill Valentine impression, and I'm just thinking, I'm sat here thinking, you have no idea how many impressions she does so well. But she's not a voice actress, never had any interest apparently in really voice acting, although she's told me many times, she goes, I would be a voice actress for you, but you always just want bimbo sex characters, and that's not me, you know. I don't want to, not that she's not some like woke hoity kind of woman that's like, that's below me, but she doesn't think that she can do that kind of character. She'd rather voice, like, you know, something that's a little bit more I don't know, comedic, I guess. Yeah, she's more into kind of comedic roles. But the Jill Valentine thing, we're both such a fan of that game that she was too appealing to her. Yeah, I like those blue highlights, man. Those blue highlights are doing it for me. They are doing it for me. There's a definite appeal I am getting from these blue highlights, man. Oh, I like that. I like it. See this? Sorry, I'm spazzing out of my own work, and it's really terrible. You shouldn't do that. But I don't want to see spaceships that are just gray. I wanted to do like a crazy spaceship with stripes, like a Jodorowsky spaceship. When I'm less lazy, I'll probably do that. I'll probably make like a green spaceship that has hair and a cape or something, like a spaceship with a hat on and some tiger stripes. But I wanted to just go interesting with the colors, and I think that's an interesting looking choice of color. So we've got purple shadow and orange kind of mid-tone and little blue highlights there. So that works for me. I'm happy with that. Hyper Wizard says spaz away. Thank you. Harry Ashfield said, oh, that was Joyce. Good for her. Yeah, it was Joyce. Yeah, that's my wife playing Naomi Blaze, playing her voice. The only person in the live action segments that was their physical character as well as their voice character was me. I acted as Rick and also did the voice as Rick. But the actress that we had there on the set was an adult entertainer named Atlantis Bliss, who we worked with for the day. And the actor for Krieghauser was the animator Hulapy, who did all the 3D animation. So that's what Hulapy looks like. Sort of a handsome, slender fellow. Can we just... Was that weird putting that blue in there? I don't know, it's not really necessary. It's not really necessary. Can we just leave something there? Leave a trace of it in case I... Oh, whatever. Alright. So the engines. The engines of death. Alright, so we're gonna give him engines, and they're gonna be pink. Consarn it. I want pink engines. Alright, stop trying to talk me down. I've paid for pink engines, and I'm gonna have them, but they're gonna be white hot in the middle, because I think that'd look cool. Yeah. Alright, like that. Like that. And we'll make them, yeah. So all of this stuff will be pink. And gonna find That's annoying me. That little bit of color there missing. And that's also annoying me there too. And we're gonna make it bright white in the center. And let's find some other tone for that bit. Like, it does not, the CMYK color does not enjoy bright pinks. Like, I really would want that to pop as much as possible, but I think that's about as good as we're gonna get. Entron Animation says, gotta learn how to do parallel lines like that instead of overly using the line tool. These lines that are all going in perspective here, they're actually not. If you can see, I fucked it up. See around here, it's kind of messy, but I don't particularly care, so I think that's okay. That's Clip Studio Paint that has, there's a tool called the I can't remember what it's fucking called tool. The perspective ruler, I think it is, or just the ruler, or just a perspective tool, and you can just set points of perspective and just go ham. It's the only way to fly, honestly. So those are my pink engines. I don't know. Now I'm looking at them, I'm thinking they're not that great. Do we want? Is a different color better on the engines? I drew some purple that's going to screw that up now if I try changing it, but I think green. I'll leave it pink. Honestly, they don't look. Doesn't look bright enough to me. It's just something about it doesn't punch, but I think it's a small detail that I'm getting obsessed with a small detail that's pointless. Let me just maybe make that overlay and just try just a spray of something. Helps a little bit. Like that. Just add like a little kind of glow effect in there. Okay. Okay day. What is that? Banner. I'm coming for you, Banner. Where are you? Now that the ship is so orangey, I don't like the banner being yellow. I don't think it sticks out. So, oh nope, still on the wrong layer. Where is that? There it is. Yeah. So now I'm thinking, what do we do with the banner? Make a dark banner like that and make the letters really bright. Do we make it actually gray like that? Do we make... I mean, the letters are going to have to pop no matter what. Not get like a nice color here. Like a green could be kind of cool. Green banner maybe? Yellow banner? It's different enough to the orange. I quite like the yellow, I gotta say. I like the yellow. We've got too much pink on the page. I don't want another pink. Could we have a red banner? Like an orangey banner? Like that kind of red? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Or maybe a greeny banner. I'm thinking green, yellow, or red. And then we'll figure the letters after that. Yellow Davi88. Hey Davi88, I don't think I've said hello to you yet. Hey Brandon Blair. Brandon Blair, I'm using Photoshop. Doigan Swift says, attempting my best to not throw unsolicited advice, but if you control click with the move tool, it'll jump you to the layer under where you click. Well, thank you. I don't think I'm going to retain that information, but I appreciate it. Thanks, Gregor. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you think it's looking good. Nacho says, Harry, have you ever had a mohawk? Yeah, I had one for breakfast. Teal, says Lee35. 315, sorry. Dark banner, red letters would be cool, says Eric. But I don't know. I don't know. I think the letter's gonna be white, maybe. I'll tell you what, let's leave it. I don't know, so yellow's doesn't do enough for me against the orangey pale ship. What is teal? Teal is like between blue and green, right? So we'd have to up. There's just something about that. It's kind of not. I don't know. Something soft about that. I don't know. People are saying yellow and green like his guitar. Yeah. You know, I quite like that swampy green. I don't mind. I don't mind that so much. It's not teal, it's more of a yellow green. I'm gonna, like, obviously it's gonna be its own fucking layer, so it's not really important. We don't have to make our minds up yet. Let's stick some lettering in there. Da 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 da, like that. It's annoying, right? I've got to make sure that any text you see is on its own layer. The voice acting, what the fuck am I talking about? The text has to be on its own layer so that for the French translation of the comic, because we're doing a French version too, it can all be switched off and turned around. I don't know why I said voice acting, but I was thinking of the French dubbing of the cartoons and then the French translation of the book. So yeah. Shred bad. I was thinking if I ever put this character in a cartoon, I think that I would want Nathan Barnett to voice him. I don't even know if he does voice acting, but he has a pretty good voice if you know the Keith Apicary character that he does. I think that would be a good fit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh good boy. Oh golly gosh. You know, I could probably get away with something like a green banner, but actually make the highlights yellow on the banner to sort of get the best of both worlds, or to get the kind of... That's what I'll do. I'll probably just do the highlights now on a different layer and play with it from there. Because there is no reason that the highlights need to be the right or correct color. It's space, it's the future, we don't know what light source is hitting these objects. It's all just about... Why didn't that fill in? It's all just about aesthetic pleasure of the mind. It's just about having fun. We're gonna try and have some fun. Although I'm not having fun tracing around these fucking letters, my god. Nearly done. Nearly there. No! Because I was holding the wrong button. I had him in my grasp. Okay. It's that one. Minus. Alright. Cool. Okay. I know it takes a long time to do that, but it's just, it makes more sense than just going and like, did bit by bit. You can just grab the whole thing and then just like that really easily with color. So that's what I was thinking maybe. That's not rock and roll to me. That's not heavy metal having green on white. That looks like come to the county Christmas show. Although I was thinking red. Red isn't rock and roll either, is it? Red is Christmas. It's like Grinch. Come to the... Oh, it's kind of bloody looking though. There's something about it like violent. Come to the county Christmas fair. Yeah, maybe... Where's that banner? Shred bad. Yeah, see that works for me. The red on yellow works pretty good. We don't have to sit with that forever. I am gonna go and make the little stars a color though. The font there is a little bit animated Spider-Man. I think I was doing that deliberately because it's a cool font. Spider-Man. Okay. Yeah, let's just make him kind of a pale white or something, so when I screw with the hue, it doesn't fuck him up too much.
Redman, tonight. One night only.
Sorry, my glasses just fell off. Terranium. Yeah, the magic wand tool. The problem with that is I always have to fix it. Mr. Mathemation, I always have to fix the magic wand tool. It's just the... I know I don't do things as efficiently as I can. It's something that I should address, and a kind of an efficiency overhaul of all my software. Aaron Munch says they should use that Spider-Man font for the movies. They should. They should replace everything in the stupid movies with the stupid with the animated Spider-Man show. That's much better than the movies. It's not stupid. I'm sorry I call it stupid. They should replace everything in the stupid movies with the cool animated Spider-Man show. Alright. You know what, guys? It's been fun. Let me just play with that banner a little bit before, because I'm gonna commit. This is the thing. I'm gonna commit to the banner and compress it into one layer. Is that cool or is that lame to do? Yeah, I know it makes sense. Like a rock show would have a dark black banner with red letters. It makes logical sense, but I don't like it for some reason. It doesn't read well to me from afar. Like that reads better, the blue, but then that's the purple rather, but that's just putting purple back in the scene. We kind of already have enough purple. Was it yellow? Ah, man, it's tough, right? It's such a stupid thing, doesn't even mean anything, but... Yeah. Yeah, alright, we're going with yellow. I'm sorry, I agree. Timu Salanpa said, Moi moi, yellow has better readability. Hello, Timu. Sorry, I'm not making fun of your name. I think it's a cool name. I like Finlanders. I used to have a Finnish girlfriend. And then she finished with me. Alright, we're going to compress all that down. We're going to put some shadow on it. Oh yeah, I forget Terranium's finished too. It's lousy with the Finlanders here. We love it though. They're always welcome. Oh man, what? Okay, let's cut that out. Let's start putting some shadows on. So I don't know what the shadows are gonna be, but I got an idea. I got a little idea, I got a notion of what we're gonna do, which is gonna create something like that. This is my current way of doing shadows. It's extremely lazy, okay? Actually, you don't do that first, Harry. You forgot. It's a cardinal rule. You add in little areas of shadow. Oh, you know what? No. Okay, I made a mistake here, guys. We shouldn't have collapsed it all into one layer. Fuck, come on. Alright. Okay, so we can do the shadows on the layer above. We can still do it the way I was going to do it, but now it's not all collapsed into one layer. So that we can have some fun a little bit with it, with certain areas of it. So we're gonna... What time is it? Oh man, it's 6:15. My time anyway. I don't know what time it is where you guys are. If you're in Finland, is what, 2 hours ahead? I think. Mr. Matamation says, I feel like you've mentioned the Finnish girlfriend at every other stream. It's because it's blame Terranium. I am not pining. I am not pining, okay? Very, very happily moved on. It's because Terranium is from Finland. So, because he's on every other stream. I think it always naturally comes up. You're right, Mr. Matamation. Oh, look, I haven't had a very fruitful life. I've been stuck behind this stupid desk. I've done very little in my life in terms of actual, you know, mobile experiences, physical, tangible experiences. That's true, by the way, and it's not good. You should experience things in life. You should travel. You know, you should go places. I did all my traveling when I was young, and now I'm 35. I'm pretty much going to be rooted to a desk for forever. It's going to be uploaded to the web. Have an AI make my cartoons for me. Which wouldn't be too bad if it allowed me to just kind of watch TV. Alright, so this is... I know these look very ugly. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Harry, it looks very ugly. And you're right. But what I'm thinking we could do is... magic wand tool here. And now we get the shading. Just sort of shade the top and the bottom a little bit, because I sort of feel like that's where, maybe not, maybe it's the bottom would be where the shading is going to be. I don't know, we'll figure it out a little bit. And we're going to cut into it just slightly. Yee, something like that. And we're going to cut into it to make it hopefully not as ugly. And it's not going to be probably blue, because that's a bit bizarre. I'm trying some stuff here. If you guys can just bear with me, trying something out here. And now we go in with an eraser. We cut out some highlights like that. See, hit it from underneath. Everything that's lit from underneath is going to have a little friendly highlight buddy coming up to say hello. Like so. You know, like that. So he's going to get hit. And then there's going to be some areas up here maybe. Like some of these little fellas getting whacked. A little bit of highlight up here because they folded over. And now probably around here is where I'll have to introduce a little bit more shadow. Like so. Like that. Like that. Oh boy. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not nice. Oh, it's looking like shit. It's looking like shit. Okay, but I have a plan. I have a plan. So what I'm thinking is I can just basically get away with like not an overlay. I don't like any of these. Alright, change of plan. I'm not going to probably get away with an overlay, but we are going to create a shadow for it that looks a bit more natural. Brings in maybe some of that purple. I'm not done yet, guys. it's like the middle has gone too dark. Up here has gone a little bit too dark. So I think I need to cut some of that back out so we can read it. Does it read? That's the question. It's got to be legible. I can't screw it up that badly. How many pages do I have finished? Dive 88. This is the 6th page I'm working on. So I'm not even a 10th of the way through the book yet. If that depresses you, think how I feel. I probably wouldn't depress you, but think how I feel. Alright. I mean, I'm not in love with this, unfortunately. I thought this was going to come out a bit better. But there's a few little areas I can punch up a little bit, just in the corners. So you want it to feel underlit, but also be very readable. And if I have these, if I go like crazy and have these big dark streaks through it that are in the same color as the lettering, it's going to be a nightmare. So I'll just play with them a little bit more, because maybe just an orange or something would make more sense. Just something, yeah. Probably would just make it a little bit more sense, a little bit more legible. It's a shame. So what I was thinking would be fun to do is get the letters and cut out, how do we do that? You do the magic tool and just cut out this stuff and then mess with, on this layer, which is, where is it? On this layer, mess with the shadow colors. That's what I thought I would do. So I was overselling it a bit, like make them, oh yeah. But it seems to be a stinky plan. A stinky plan that isn't very cool or good. Could be a stinky bad plan. But I just tweak them a little bit, add a little bit of that purple back in there.
Shredbeard.
I don't know. Maybe a couple of highlights, and then I think we'll move on from the banner, the Bruce banner. And then we can just mess around with the space stuff, and just call it that. All right. Doesn't have to shine. It won't be a shiny banner. Yeah, that's a little intense there. Just take it down a tiny bit. And this is more really for the bottom, because I want to fill in a couple of little, like, imagine there's just a hot little light down here. This is gonna hit a few of those. It looks like cheese. It looks like a banner of cheese, it do. He did sail under a banner of cheese, for he was the cheese master's son. Alright, that looks like sweaty now. I made it sweaty, I sweated it up a bit. It doesn't need to look shiny, it's just so that, I don't know. Just balance it a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Alright. Have I overworked it? Maybe so. I'm gonna just take away a little bit of that in the middle. All right. Okay. And now we're gonna do the cables, the stuff tying it together. I'm just gonna be lazy and grab this color basically and have it pop out. kind of feel like it wouldn't necessarily be casting a shadow like this, but I should put one in anyway. Alright, okay, so I think that's good. Now we just got to work on space, which is this streaky mofo here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Somebody told me a hack earlier on for finding the right layer. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it's a little hard to tell because of a lot of the other panels are not finished yet. If we create a clipping mask, I'm just basically going to create some gradients to play a little bit with. Like maybe make it a little darker down there and a little darker down there. But I don't want to do it too much. So like maybe you still want that texture there. You know, you don't want to just have it all blown out into a gradient. And then I can actually take that and play with it. See, that's cool and all, but but no, it's just too wacky. Take it back towards the purple, maybe. Blue even still. Alright, and then on another layer, I'm gonna go and actually pick out some streaks. I'm gonna actually have to physically move to get around my tablet. I know there's a way you can rotate the Photoshop canvas. Should probably save. It's probably a pretty good idea. So I physically move. Is this a new layer? Yeah, good. All right, cool. Because we want to just go in and add some streaky boys. So today we were gonna have lunch, and I was really hungry, even though lunch was literally. Do you ever have that thing where lunch is being worked on, and you're 40 seconds away from eating, but you're just so hungry, you just go and start eating something? And all we had these crappy Rivita crackers, and I just grabbed one and put a load of salt on it, so it tasted like something. And I told Joyce it was called a Salt Boy. I said, yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick Salt Boy. She goes, what? I said, you never had a Salt Boy? What is that? And I said, oh, it's just where you take a cracker and you cover it in salt. And then it was disgusting. And then 8 seconds later, I was having my dinner anyway, or my lunch, whatever. That looks like poo-poo, but we might be able to do something with it. I was gonna roll off the ends of them a little bit, sort of like that. It's just to add some texture, so it feels like distant stars and stuff going past, so it's not just mindless blue stripes. But the idea then would be you'd have just, like that. Maybe that takes away from the double D-Rex. Should be a clipping mask there. Does that take away? It does. It does. It cuts out and removes the contrast too much. All right. So I'm just gonna. Thinking about making it another color too. Such as and then make it to an overlay. You can do stuff like that and go crazy mode with the colors. It's not bad, but it's unnecessary. Honestly, I think it was better before. So that's with little streaky highlights, without, with, without, with, and without. We can maybe take down the opacity just a slight bit there. With and without. And you know what? The layer below it, with, without. I like that layer. I do want to keep that one. All right, everyone. I'm thinking that might be that. So we really only finished 2 panels today, and how long? How long was that? Fudging 2 hours basically. We got 1 panel done and another panel done. So if you've stayed this long, thank you very, very much. I absolutely did not deserve for you to come and pay attention to this slightly painful process of me Bob Rossing everything and slowly making it look worse and worse and worse over time. But hey, Turbotoxin says, Harry, you didn't need to go this hard. That's what I'm here to do, ain't it? Gotta make things look good. Thank you, Turbotoxin, though. I mean, we're not, this is not a done page yet. We gotta make this we'll do it. It's tons, basically. We've got 2 panels done, essentially, out of what it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 panels, 8 panels. Are there any more I can show you that you would want to see? You guys have seen this page, right? If you're a Patreon supporter, you would have seen this page, although I did tweet the bottom of it out. This is the double D-Rex arriving on the planet of Skalash, which is a big part of the story. I can't help it. These guys here, they look like that meme with the guys with the plant-based chicken, pointing, all surprised. That's just what I see when I look at these guys. But yeah, I think that's a nice page of the double D-Rex arriving. Obviously, no text. There's going to be text, of course, in the comic. So there's a nice page. You want to see one more that I think is not... I'm not happy with the coloring on this one. It's a little muddy. But I think the overall impact is okay. This is, again, there's not been much character stuff yet. I've been doing lots of pages of the double D-Rex. This is Hogstrong arriving on the world of Zeradia and meeting the Zeradian interface, who is no good. These guys are no good. These guys, or these gals, whatever you want to call them, they're kind of robots. They're not really humans, not really people. And they're up to no damn good. But they do have nice big chrome boobies, so it makes up for a lot. So if you stayed that long, there's your little reward for watching some of the painfully slow process. I'm doing this whole thing in the hopes that I'll be able to get this thing physically manifested into a real book this year, get it in people's hands, and tell a great big Starbarian story that might even fund a bunch more of the animation. So that would be fantastic. So thank you to everybody who came by today. I am gonna fix one thing that's bothering me here. No idea what layer it's on. It's this layer probably, or this one. I wanna just kind of underscore these little dashes here with a little something there. Something like that. I don't know why. I just wanted to do that. Alright, everyone. Hey, thank you very much for coming by to another live stream. I know it's been a long time. It might be a long time again. I might disappear for another 3 years. But I'm still going to be doing this stuff. No, I'll probably be back again soon. Who knows? You'll get to see another page and a half, maybe. We'll see. Alright, everyone. Love you to bits. Thank you for being here today. I'm not going to read off everyone's name because... Oh, I'll try. Let me see. Davy88, thank you for being here. Uzi Bop, Meredith Stanley, Jesse Labrie, Big Texas Tony, Terranium, Hyper Wizard, The Bad Cow Bunch, Turbotoxin, Timu, Big Texas Tony, I think I already said your name, Zach Dozier, Terranium, Jacob Carmine, Novel, Tyler, hey Tyler, come you, come me, come us. Shark Alien, Aaron Munch, All right, those are all the names I can see on my screen. As you're all saying goodbye, so I read out your name. Oh, hey, Aya is still here. Hey, Aya. Hey, Rob L. Mr. Mathemation. Gregor too, if he's here. Lovely to catch up with some of you. Thank you for taking a look at my artwork and listening to me lisp and sputter into the microphone for 2 hours. You have a good one, and we'll catch up soon. Bye, Keith. Bye, everyone. Take care. Bye, Azavad.